Mr. President, this is Richard Peter here in Dallas, Texas. This is your daily Citizens Briefing. It is Thursday, February the 12th in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2009. If you'd like to pick up the phone and call me, Mr. President, my telephone number is 1-877-365-0042. Mr. President, I've been watching these trips that you're making and into these depressed areas of our economy and listening to the responses that people give you as you ask them questions. I want to congratulate you on being the kind of president that goes out there and meets the people and listens to the problems that they're presenting to you. But I want to make some suggestions very strongly now, Mr. President. You're getting your way toward this approximately $1 trillion debt that you're putting the United States of America into the minute you sign that in the Oval Office. Now, let me repeat that, Mr. President. We're looking at $1 trillion now on this stimulus package, probably $2 trillion more to fix the economic system. So you're obligating yourself as a brand new president of the United States for approximately $3 trillion. It's going to have to be paid back with interest under the current economic system, sir. All right, now, you've been talking to people who are being thrown out of their homes, living in cars. They don't have a place to prepare breakfast. They don't have anything going for them now, Mr. President. And you're saying we're going to build a few roads and highways. We're going to redo the medical records in our country, even before we have national health care. We're going to remodel federal buildings. We're going to put money into remodeling schools and doing labs and all the rest of it, Mr. President. We're going to put people back to work doing the things that America needs to have done. Those were your exact words. Mr. President, you're on the wrong track. Just as you bumbled the oath of office, either by your fault or by the fault of the Chief Justice, God is sending you a signal that you're off to the wrong start. Now, the right start is to stimulate the economy. The right start is to reform and change the economic system in this country. But the wrong thing to do is exactly what you've done. Now, Mr. President, let's look at the history of the Democratic Party. They've been basically controlled by unions and by Democratic governors. So who have you given this stimulus package to? To Democratic governors. Mr. President, I would respectfully submit that all stimulus money be redirected and redesigned to begin with, but if you're going to keep it at all, it should go to the mayors of America's 100 largest cities. Bypass the governors. The mayors know which projects are shovel ready. But let me back up a moment, Mr. President. Your stimulus package has a fundamental error in that it is creating jobs for what you think America needs right now. Well, Mr. President, with all due respect, we really don't care what you think America needs. We don't care what Nancy Pelosi says we need. We don't care what Barney Frank says we need. Yeah, firefighters and policemen we need, but the fact of the matter is we've got tens of thousands of people being laid off every day. You said, well, if they adopt this stimulus package, when you went to the Caterpillar plant, they're going to build more tractors because I've got more jobs that are shovel ready. They're going to be, and some of the people will be rehired. Again, that is vague. It is not specific. The biggest charge I want to lay against your presidency, Mr. President, is that it is vague, it is not specific, and it is not specifically directed to what the American people need right now. I'm sorry, I'm not upset with you personally, sir. I'm upset with the advice that you're getting. It's bad advice. It's old Democratic advice. It's Keynesian economics. It's not carve out a hole and fill it up with dirt again. I'll grant you that. These are projects that the country needs right now. But the most important thing is to create immediate jobs. Now think of yourself as an archer, Mr. President. You've been given the presidency of the United States and a bow and arrow, and we're asking you to hit on target. Think of yourself at a football game, Mr. President. We're at a point in this economy where a Hail Mary pass is being thrown. You're the quarterback now. You have to call the play if we're going to win this game and survive. This is a survival of the economy of the United States that's up for grabs here, Mr. President. And you're throwing it to old theories by John Maynard Keynes and governors of the Democratic governors telling you what they need to have done, and you're thinking that's going to solve the job problem, Mr. President. Nothing could be further from the truth, sir. I want your presidency to succeed. I want you to succeed, Mr. President. I voted for you. But the problem that we're having now, sir, is that you are sending that arrow to the wrong target. The Democratic governors and their pet projects, the department heads of government and their pet projects, and one of the lobbyists, the doctors who said, and I'm calling for an investigation of this, Mr. President. You are talking in your inaugural speech about setting up medical records, and I've identified that they're electronic medical records even before healthcare is enacted. Healthcare reform is enacted, and you want some doctor to enter into a public-private partnership where he's going to stand to make billions of dollars. I want a full congressional investigation on that, Mr. President. I am not going to allow some doctor in a public-private partnership do medical records when there are people being, and make billions of dollars when there are people being laid off by the tens of thousands, Mr. President. Okay, giving some rich doctor a lucrative government contract while people are being thrown out of their homes, losing their jobs, is unconscionable. It is immoral, Mr. President. Okay? Now, what should be done? I'm not just the type of person that tells you, sir, what's wrong. I'm telling you, you're aiming at the wrong target. You're passing the football at the wrong target. You're aiming the arrow at the wrong target. We have people being laid off. So what you need to do is to create immediately a $30,000 cash voucher in new United States currency. And in a moment, I'm going to get to that, Mr. President. We're going to solve the economic problem next. It needs to be created in new United States currency. These vouchers, you need to establish a job bank in every state, particularly in the hard-hit states. Set up an immediate job bank for employers willing to hire right now, within 90 days or less, anybody who presents this cash voucher. So we go back 90 days. Unfortunately, we can't go all the way back to the beginning of unemployment in this country. But we go back 90 days, and those are the people that are going to be eligible, that had jobs in the last 90 days, and they are going to be able to take these cash vouchers and go to this new national job bank and get employed within 90 days or less. Now, that is the shortest distance between 2 points, Mr. President, a straight line. Create these cash vouchers, give them to the people that have been laid off in the next 90 days, create a job bank of employers that are willing to hire in the next 90 days, have them walk into those offices within the next 90 days, and give these $30,000 cash vouchers so that people can be put to work. Now, Mr. President, I applaud you for setting up social network, for putting out the food stamps and increasing the unemployment. But, Mr. President, that's just putting a Band-Aid on the bleeding. It is not solving the problem, sir. Now, let me get to your economic plan. Until you make the Federal Reserve a department under put the Federal Reserve under the Department of the Treasury, forbid fractional banking, create a new United States currency, I repeat, Mr. President, nothing, absolutely nothing can be done. As long as we, the people of the United States, are carrying Treasury notes in our wallet instead of good United States currency, it doesn't have to be backed by gold. It has the decision to put more money in should be up to your team of economic advisors and the Department of Treasury, but the money that's put in should not have interest attached to it. Why should we, the people of the United States of America, have to pay $400 billion plus interest a year on our own money? Why should we have to rent out our own blood? We are the masters of our money, Mr. President, but the way this country has got it going since the Federal Reserve Act, we've made the money the master of us. This is unconscionable. It needs to change, and no economic plan that you're proposing will work until you get to the root cause of the problem, and that is the American citizens do not have their own money. We demand it now, Mr. President, and if I have to form a new political party for them to get it, you better believe I will, sir. Now, so what you do on the toxic assets, I'm going to discuss in my briefing to you tomorrow morning, but we're going to start with abandoning the Federal Reserve System, fractional banking, and we're going to create a new United States currency, Mr. President, and I will, together with you, or if I have to, form a new party, Mr. President, recreate the economy of the United States so that it becomes the model for every economy in the entire world. God bless you, Mr. President, but most importantly, God bless the United States of America. Thank you, sir, until we talk again tomorrow about how to handle the economic problem in the country.